I'm not aware of anything in the LA area in the near future. That's not to say that nothing will, but there's nothing on my horizon, or I haven't heard of anything shortly in LA. I don't know about you, Zach or Josh.
Yeah, on the website there's an events list, and you can see all the things that are coming up over the next like 6 months. I don't think there's one in LA, but there you can get all the information.
Sweet. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming up, Elton. Should be an easy drive now. Maybe I've done it in 4 hours, but pay attention to the speed limit. Tecmo, I believe you're up next.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
What's going on?
So I don't have a question. I just had a quick anecdote regarding the marketing stuff. To echo what has already been said, I actually started out with Crypto.com, and I think their marketing budget must be absolutely insane with all of the ice hockey rinks and stuff that I see their name on. But when you spend a lot of money on that and you don't back it up, and ultimately, you don't have a great product. Now, I'm not trying to badmouth them or anything, but I didn't stay with them because of all the fees involved with their product. Whereas I heard about Celsius through word of mouth, came over, and now I feel like I'm going to be a Celsian for life because of how well I'm being treated. And I think that speaks to their ethos of how they don't want to pay for marketing. They just want to have a great product. Now, you can still have marketing, but you need to have a great product to back it up to keep people around, or else it's a waste of money. And I thanks to Scott, I'm a new Celsius community ambassador. And just tonight, literally, I took my 2 sons out to pizza tonight, and in the booth behind us, I hear somebody mention, "Oh yeah, I kind of like Solana, but I have Bitcoin and Ethereum." And so I just casually, like, non-awkwardly, like, was fixing my son's shoe, and I said, "Oh, I like Solana too." And they kind of like looked at me, and I was like, "Yeah, but have you guys heard about Celsius?" And they were like, "No, I just have my Trust wallet, and I just have Coinbase. What's Celsius?" And I was like, "Oh man, you can earn interest and it's secure." And I just kind of gave the whole thing, and like having that story and then the product to back it up is way better than any entity spending millions on marketing and then fleecing you with fees. That's just my story.
Yeah, over the weekend we had a great discussion about like the difference in business model, and it's like you'll see other companies, they will ride the hype cycle. They'll say, "Oh, Dogecoin is hot. We support Dogecoin. Come buy and trade it here. Sheeb is hot. Come buy, trade it here. Oh, look at here's a celebrity over here. Oh, here's you're gonna see our name on the football stadium over there." And that's one way to do business. Where Celsius is taking the position of, we're a community of hodlers, and we're here to deploy your assets in your best interest, and not charge you any fees, not take any coins from you, but to give you more coins at the end of the day. And it's just a total different philosophy, and I think it's a different business strategy that may not grow as quickly, may not be as sexy or exciting, but we're building this company for the next 100 years. So it's about treating your customers the highest or the best you can, providing them the greatest service, and providing their money the greatest service by offering the best yields in a responsible way too, and being a great custodian of those assets, and not over promising to just get yourself in trouble down the road.
Tecmo, did that conclude your thoughts up here on stage?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Always love those stories.
Yeah, I was just going to say that gave me chills hearing that story. I love to hear when people hear about Celsius, and to me, that's the most effective, genuine way, because he's speaking the truth, and those people know it, can sense it's the truth, and it's not just flashy ad with bright lights and explosions and things, but it's just a person talking to another person, and those are usually the ones that stick the longest. So good job.
Yep, couldn't agree more. Go ahead, Tecmo.
No, I was just going to say thanks.
Yep, no problem. Nutter Bear, you're up next. And just a reminder to the group here, share the room out, let everyone know we're live, and the big man should be with us here shortly. So Nutterbear, what's going on?
Yeah, good to be part of this again. Enjoying these little sessions we have. Concerning marketing, I might have an idea that will suit you and will benefit the users as well. Did you guys at Celsius think we could make stickers and then have QR codes on them? So if they scan the QR code and we put stickers all over the place, they will get linked to my referral code that would incentivize people to make stickers, plant them all over the place, spread the word, and people scan the QR and just download the app instantly with your referral code.
I think you can convert it manually into a QR code. You can convert anything. So you could take your link and convert that into a QR code, so it takes them right to the sign up page, and then enters your referral code, and it'll act just like the referral link does.
Ah, sweet. So that will be possible to Google search and then just find a place to do that.
Yeah.
Well, you know where I'm going to do that. This
Yeah,
might
I've
work
seen
out.
people do it for the business cards, but you could also do it with stickers and anything else, right? That's a really cool little strategy.
Yeah, sure. Cool. Thanks.
And in staying in that same lane there, Zach or Scott, have you guys thought about, like, we've got the upcoming Christmas season. Has there been any thought into like gift cards or anything like that? Because I'd love to gift my my family some Bitcoin or Ethereum, via Celsius. Obviously, I could probably do that through CellPay or whatever, but it'd be nice to be able to put it in a card, right? So they open up a card and then there's like a gift card. They could scan it in some way and then it goes automatically to their account. I don't know if we have the infrastructure or anything like that, but I thought it was a good thought now that the season is kicking in.
Thank you for that idea, because we are having meetings now on the marketing team about the holidays coming up. So I'll make sure I bring that up to the team.
Yep. Guys, we encourage all you to come up and participate. We don't bite. We're here to answer your questions. And then obviously Alex will be in here with us here shortly. So Bira Trunks, you're up next.
Hey guys, what's up? Long time no see. I love that that question that just posed about the gift cards or something like that. And I think an NFT would be the perfect vehicle for that. If we can wrap somehow a gift card and any denomination into an NFT that can be redeemable into Cell token, that would be a really cool function to offer our guests.
We need to get Celsius NFTs on the line ASAP.
I'm sure it'll be coming through tonight for sure.
That's a fact.
Thanks for sharing that idea with us, Bitronics. Jason, I saw your hand up earlier. Did you have another question or a comment?
A comment. Just if you do the sticker thing, be careful where you put it, because it does link to your profile, and you could get hit maybe for vandalism. Like, say you stuck it on the ATM or something like that. I'm just saying, just be careful.
Duly noted. Thanks for that. Jonathan, you're up next.
Hi, I actually just started using Celsius, and I just was kind of curious how your guys' business model actually works. So we deliver coin to these wallets that you guys have the private keys for, right? And then do you use that coin and shuffle it around or lend it? How do you guys actually provide that interest rate?
Yeah, so you are trusting us with your keys, and then we deploy those assets across a various of strategies: institutional lending, retail lending, mining, DeFi, and OTC. And we're just lending your coins out at a rate of interest to our counterparties, and then giving you a majority of that yield back every Monday. And then we promise a certain rate every week. We pay that rate, and then we update the rates as market conditions change. So we are moving your coins around. They all get put into a pool that gets lent out, and then you get a distribution pro rata every Monday for your piece of that pool.
Could I ask one follow-up with that?
Mhm.
So is any of that like taxable income, or would it only be so once you trade the coin for USD?
No, it's absolutely, yeah, it's taxable income at the point that you receive it. So In the US, when you receive crypto, that is a taxable event. We give you a 1099 at the beginning of next year, and it'll show you the dollar value of all the coins you received at the time you received them, and that is considered income.
Thank you.
Sure. Thanks for coming up, Jonathan. Next up is Gongo. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going? Good evening, good morning, everyone. So yeah, my question's kind of simple. Celsius is obviously like in every like major country. Is there any strategy with like remittance payments? Because I know like in certain areas, like Southeast Asia areas of Africa, that's a pretty like common thing. So I was just curious if that's like an area that Celsius is looking at.
Yeah, you can already do free and instant remittance payments within Celsius with CellPay. You can send up to $2,500 of most assets. Stablecoins and Cell token we had to take off, but Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the others you can send instantly. $2,500 per day to anyone that also has CellPay in any other country. It doesn't matter. And then with swaps, you'll be able to convert that into back into stablecoin, and then into a bank account.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. I'm just like, so it doesn't matter that like with regulations in that sense, is there anything different there? Or it's just like the way like governments look at it is just, oh, they're just sending through Celsius network? Because I know like remittances are pretty controlled.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of. I mean, we're doing an internal transfer from one account to another, and I don't know of any other regulatory issues with that that have come up. We've had to restrict the assets, so you can't do it with stablecoins, you can't do it with Cell token, but with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and most others, it's there's no issue.
Great, yeah, thanks for that.
Hi.
Up, Gongo. Hang in there one second, Joey. I'm just gonna. There's one guy in front of you.
Okay, cool.
No problem. Reagan, what's up, man? Reagan,
hello. Sorry, I just unplugged my mic. Just a little bit of feedback, because I hear these sort of cool stories about people talking, introducing Celsius to people they've met and everything like that. And the common theme I hear is people saying, "Oh, you can deposit your Bitcoin, you can deposit your Ethereum," but I never really hear anyone mentioning Cell token in those sort of stories. So I think that's really something. I know it's being addressed, but it's something that
is positions by
pretty sort of clear that it's sort of still sort of sitting in the background in most people's mind when they're talking about the platform. So yeah, just a little bit of feedback.
Thank you for that, Reagan. And Zach, did you have anything you want to say, or Scott, before I move on?
Yeah, one thing I want to say on that is he's absolutely correct, especially for me here in the U.S., because when I'm onboarding or bringing someone into Celsius for the first time, it's much easier to bring them in with Bitcoin or Ethereum, get them used to the platform, and then later I introduce the Cell token, because my thoughts on that are it would be a little more complicated to explain the swapping and doing what you have to do to swap them into the Cell token. My main goal is get them into the Celsius app first and get them happy with it, and then introduce Cell. That's my personal strategy. I think as we move on time-wise, and as the regulatory environment gets a little more clear, I think my strategy will be a little more inclusive of the Cell token initially. But for now, I just my personal preference is to start, as the other caller said, and just start with Bitcoin or Ethereum or some other token.
Got it. Thank you guys for sharing. All right, Joey, what's going on?
What's going on, guys? First off, can you hear me?
Yep, I'm clear.
Nice. Okay. So a couple things. Sorry, that was loud. So first off, I really like the platform. I've been using it for a while now, and I love that I can like watch you guys in YouTube videos, and then see you guys on Twitter, and now I'm literally speaking to the team. I think that's the coolest thing. It builds trust. It makes me feel safe. You heard Alex the other day talking about our people's life savings. That's exactly what people are doing. So I think that's super awesome. I'm putting, my girl's family on to Celsius and everything. So just wanted to give you that feedback. And then I just wanted to say, are there any plans to add Solana or possibly Avalanche in the future? And then I'm, US based. And as far as I know, I keep hearing about the Cell token, but there's absolutely nothing I can do with Cell token right now. I can't buy it. I can't, earn it. I can't really do anything with it at the moment for US residents. Is that correct? Sorry, I know that was a lot.
Yeah. So we'll do one question at a time always, and we can always respond. But starting with Cell token, you can buy it on decentralized exchanges in the US, and you can hold it in the app and earn yield on it in kind. But you can't use most of its utility, which is earning it on other assets, and then you do get a discount on loans right now when you pay your interest in Cell. But you do miss out on some of the utility being in the US, but it can be bought and can be held. And then go on with what was the other part of your question?
Is there any plans to add Solana or Avalanche in the future?
Yeah, so Solana, yes. I haven't heard anything on Avalanche yet.
Okay, very nice. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Thanks for coming up, Joey. Sushi Girl, what's going on?
Hi guys. So can you guys hear me okay?
Yep, loud and clear.
Okay. So I'm calling in to just express my concern, and not just, but also kind of address it, because I had issues with your customer service. So I sent 1 Bitcoin on Friday to my account, and that got transferred. Then I sent a few more, and then I got flagged for sending a large transfer. And that's where my anxiety/journey began. So then 5 days later, today, I still don't have my Bitcoins from Celsius transferred to my normal wallet. And I've been dealing with your customer service, which is kind of terrible, if I may use the word. There's like this 24-hour response clock, but frankly, I've had this clock reset a few times, and as of now, it's not successful. And so at some point, I just kind of got sick and anxious because the address I sent indicated, I'm not sure if that's still valid, from a few days. So now I just want them to, Celsius, to put the Bitcoin back into my account. But a couple of hours ago, I got a message saying that the transfer was initiated, and it's still sitting in a limbo state where it's still saying transferred, and I don't have my Bitcoin in my personal wallet, and it's still showing transferred locked out in my Celsius account. And frankly, we're dealing with a large amount, and there's not a customer service person to talk to in person. And I'm not sure who I'm dealing with via emails. And regardless of that, 5 days later, I still don't have my Bitcoin allocated back to my personal wallet. So, like, what's going on? It's been the most anxious experience I've ever had with a financial transfer. And I just personally don't think it's acceptable.
Well, I'm sorry you've had such a negative experience thus far. With large transfers, we do an extra check, which creates an extra step to verify that it's you and that funds aren't being requested from a bad actor. But it shouldn't be this painful in any sense. So I think the best thing we can do for you right now is get your ticket number and follow up on the case personally.
Okay.
And see what's taking place. It sounds like if they've initiated the transfer, it should be going through. That can take a couple hours.
No,
but if it's
excuse me. I've received a notice saying that it's going to take 24 hours. And that it was initiated. I don't have, it's been more than 2 hours now. I don't have the Bitcoin in my wallet, and I still have it in a limbo state. I'm not sure what's going on. I have 3 tickets. So beyond your email accounts, can I get a commitment from you right now to have somebody follow up with me after this call to put the Bitcoin back into my account. It's not yet transferred. And basically just, I'm going to transfer it out in small increments. And I'm just really uncomfortable with this experience.
I mean, I can make a commitment to work on your case personally. I'm not in charge of making transfers, so I don't have any power there, but I can work from the back end to make sure that we get the coins where you want them. And then, again, make sure this doesn't happen going forward, because it is a really bad experience. And this is not what we want Celsius to have, or Celsius users to have.
Okay, so how do we go about it?
So I can DM you my email and we can talk right now on this call and get that process going.
Okay.
And then I can look in the back to see where your ticket's at, and what's taking place up far, and really get the details of this whole situation.
Okay, I sincerely appreciate it. And again, like I said, I do expect just for us to get the ball rolling today, right, in this call, because in all fairness, sure, I've waited for 5 days and dealing with like a large amount of transfer. I think I'm entitled to this privilege at this point. Do you agree?
Sure. Yeah, no, I totally understand.
Hi, Zach. It's Sharon. Send me the tickets, okay? I'll deal with it personally.
Okay, fantastic. So Sharon is our head of security and is going to handle your case directly. So I will DM you right now and we'll get on it right now.
Okay, thank you very much.
We'll take care of it. Thank you. Thank you for your patience.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming up, Sushi Girl, and giving us your feedback. Appreciate it. Saurav, you're up next.
Yeah, I have a question. Thanks for letting me talk. So let's just say if I own 100 cell token, so am I get like earn more in my on my asset in US? Thank you.
Can you repeat the question? Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, well, I think I heard him. Part of the cell token utility is when you earn and sell. I mean, you hold sell, you get a higher yield rate. So on the website, as a platinum user, you can get up to 25% higher rates than just a standard user. So that will give you more coins each week versus just a regular user.
So for the platinum, do I have to own like a certain amount of Celsius token, or like
yes? Yeah, it's based on a percentage of your portfolio. So 25% gives you the highest rates, but starting at 5%, you can get a bonus on your weekly rewards.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks for coming up. Guys, once again, we just encourage all you guys to participate. Feel free to come up and chat with us or drop any questions you might have. You can do that by tapping on the mic in the bottom left. Just make sure you're on a phone. Trying to think of some of the other stuff I've been DM'd, Zach, recently. We did cover all that. Oh, has there been any update on the mining announcement?
No update yet, from what I've understand.
All right, thank you for that. Next up, Paul, what's going on? Welcome up.
Hey guys, I just saw you guys had the room up, so I thought I'd jump in and ask a question. I was just on the website and I was just looking, I didn't notice this before. So you guys are able to pay interest on USDC now?
Yeah, we've been paying yield on USDC for the majority of the life of the company. And we just increased the rate from 8.8 to just over 10%.
Right, yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, and we do have a promo code live. If you transfer 25,000 worth of stablecoin, you get an extra 600 after 90 days or 30 days, one of the two.
Okay. And I'm in Texas, so is that available to me too as well?
It is not available in Texas. We're unable to offer yield in Texas on stablecoins, but you can hold DAI. Which we're able to pay a lower rate on, but we can't unfortunately support other stable coins in Texas.
Gotcha. See, I'm gonna have to move from Texas. I tell you what, Texas.
Mm.
Okay.
No place is perfect, but it's pretty close.
And I do have one more question. So for that promo, I can't buy. I mean, of course, me in Texas, I can't buy it anyway. But if I wasn't in Texas, could I buy $25,000 worth of USDC and get $600, or just when you transfer it?
I mean, it would apply to buying, but our in-app purchase platform is not the best right now. So the vast majority of all assets come in from user transfers. But you could. It does work the same with buying. On some of the smaller promos, people have done it, where you transfer in a couple $100 worth. That will activate it.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Thanks for coming up, Paul, and hanging out. Sushi Girl, I noticed you're back up. Can
Yeah, so I'm really sorry. I'm getting anxious. After 5 days of anxiety, aspires where my Bitcoins are. I just heard somebody say that they're going to address this as soon as possible on this call, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I just didn't hear back. So, like, what's the course of action here? I'm no longer interested with dealing with your customer service via emails, and there's no phone number to call. So,
I
like,
just sent you a DM asking for those ticket numbers, and then our head of security, Sharon, is going to be on your case as we speak.
Yep, and he's already messaged me to get your information over immediately. So, just DM.
So what is DM? I'm sorry.
Direct message within Twitter. So you go to your messages and you'll see one from me.
Sounds great.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Thanks.
Gongo, I believe you were up next.
Hey guys, how's it going again? Really quick. So this might already be a feature. I'm kind of new to Celsius, so I'm not totally certain. But I have a Fold card. Just curious if that's something that Celsius is looking into do at all, kind of like Bitcoin rewards off of credit card or debit card purchases.
Yeah, we are working on building our credit card product out. It's not going to be out this year, but I got to work with our head of payments, really great guy, and he is putting the service provider and all of the functionality in between together. So that is a product that we will have in the future.
Cool. Thanks.
Thanks for coming up again, Gongo. Sorov, go ahead.
Thank you. So I have one more question. So does Celsius has planned to add Sandbox token? Thank you.
No, not at this time.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming up again. Reagan, I noticed you're back up. What's going on, man?
Hey, Josh. Yeah, just two things. I was wondering if there's been any updates on the sell on BTC percentage, and also, is there a way to, I know you can't do it automatically, but is there a way to manually apply it for a promo code to be reset if you're like me and you just keep stuffing them up and withdrawing and then canceling them? Cheers.
So some good news on that. I just heard today we are going to be doing some rate adjustments this week as well. And as a part of that, the sell on BTC rate will be fixed, so it's higher, as it should be. So hooray on that. And then for promos, we do have a form through support that you can get that worked on, and they can look into your account and see if a previously lost promo should be reapplied.
Awesome, cool. Sorry, just to clarify that. So the sell on BTC rates, is that going to be in line with the other platinums, or is it something? Is it like a bit different?
It's going to be returned to where you're earning. So right now on your first Bitcoin, you earn a higher rate in kind than you do in sell, and that's going to be fixed. So you'll earn a higher yield in sell token for those platinum users, just as you should. It's been lacking for the past couple months.
Yeah, well, I think I've been crying about it the most, so that's awesome. Look forward to it, Ty.
Right.
Thanks for coming back up, Reagan. Elton, welcome back.
Hey, thank you. So if I heard correct, did somebody mention like in the future there's gonna be like a Celsius credit card?
Yes, that's correct.
So how do like, okay, so how do, for example, like these exchanges go through giving out credit cards? Like, I don't know, is it like the same thing as like getting a regular credit card, like with credit scores and stuff? Because I know like the whole idea of decentralization and stuff, I don't know how that goes into play.
Yeah, I mean, when a company puts out a credit card, there's nothing decentralized about it. So the credit card industry is a very large one, and there's all types of different options and ways to go about it, and reward structures and everything. And Celsius's goal is to have the best credit card as far as rewards and rates, completely possible, compared to anybody. So that's kind of the whole structure of Celsius. Is we generate a massive amount of yield, and then we offer all of these other services at little or no cost. So that's kind of the ethos, and we're going to bring that ethos into the card product when it launches.
Cool. Love to hear it.
Thanks for coming up and dropping your question, Elton. Runson Plants, you're up next.
Hey guys, I'm coming through all right?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Thanks. So I had just a general question in terms of the approach to using Celsius. So I'm pretty new on the platform. Actually, just signed up this last weekend and was trying to figure out for things like stablecoins like Gemini, USD, around purchasing those through Celsius versus buying those on like the native platform and transferring those in. What do you see most users doing in terms of minimizing transaction fees? Because it seems like it may end up being cheaper or more efficient to buy it on the platform and transfer to you guys for staking and holding.
Yeah, right now we're unable to sell stablecoins on the platform. This is being actively worked on, so we'll have much better access. But for the time being, you're going to have to purchase those stablecoins or any other asset on an exchange and then transfer them to Celsius. And to keep fees down, you're going to want to do that in as few batches as possible. Every transaction has a transaction fee that's on chain, and then each exchange has its own fee structure on top of that. So yeah, we don't provide users coins at this time. We do have someone in the app, Simplex and Wire, but it's not the best user experience. So I really recommend, if you're going to do especially large amounts, to purchase those on an exchange you're set up with, and then just make that transfer over to Celsius for the yield and loans.
Got it. Thanks.
Thanks for coming up, Renson. Isaac, I believe you're up next.
Hey, I just want to thank you guys for creating a great platform. I have two questions. I guess number one is, when do you think you'll have a service where we can kind of swap coins like USDC to Bitcoin or Ethereum to Bitcoin? Is that coming up soon?
Yeah, very soon. Have you been watching our coattails here? It's already launched in several states across the U.S. To several hundred users, and it's going to be expanding quickly. So keep an eye on that. On YouTube, there's also some demos of this from Celsians that have gotten access and showed what the product looks like.
Got it. And my other question is I do stake USDC on your platform, and I always wondered, how are you able to pay such great rates? I mean, it's very attractive. I just want to kind of understand how, you're using those coins once I stake or put them on your platform.
Yeah, so it's great rates compared to what, and usually people's kind of basis is what they get paid by their bank, and in that case, the rates are almost zero. So there's kind of been this false perception of what rates on your money should earn, and we're trying to rectify that. So the reason why rates are so high is because there's a ton of demand, and there's a lot of people that want to use stable coins for all kinds of different purposes. And so we as a community organization collect all those coins and deploy them to the best of our ability to gain that yield while not putting user assets in unnecessary risk.
Got it. And I'm sorry, I'm just very curious. Like, what are the risks? Are we lending them to individual people or institutions? Because in your website it says institutions. So
so like we don't lend out Bitcoin or Ethereum to individuals. So all of that gets lent out to institutions 100%. But Celsius employs a number of strategies. Just to quickly cover them, it's retail, institutional, DeFi, and mining. And through those strategies, we deploy yield, again, very conservatively, and generate that income for our users.
got it. And do you see, I'm sorry, I'm asking, I promise you this is my last question. Do you see any headwinds for stablecoins because of what the SEC or the Treasury Department has put out recently?
We're gonna have to see. Nobody knows for sure. So we're gonna have to see what regulations come out and how that landscape evolves.
Got it. Okay, thank you for your time.
Yep, thanks for coming up, Isaac. John, what's going on?
Hey, good evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday, AMA day, or evening, I guess. So I heard a couple of requests about the credit card and also swaps. I know all that stuff is on the website. Zach, do you know if it's the credit card sign-up page is still like active for people to put their email in?
That's a great question. Scott, do you know that?
I don't know if it's still active or not. Are you seeing it on there at all, John?
Last time I was on the website, yes, there was a place to put your email address to get on the wait list.
From my knowledge, it is, but I haven't checked it in at least a week. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just putting that out there for anybody who's interested. I would definitely do that if you haven't already and curious about that product. I know I have. Same with swaps.
Appreciate that. Did you have any other further questions or comments while you're up here?
Celsius rocks.
Nice way to end. Next up, I believe your mom is next. Your mom, if you're speaking, please take yourself off mute. All right, cool. We'll move on to Sunil.
Hey guys, new to Celsius and really pleased with everything I'm seeing so far. Thanks for that. I noticed also there's a promo code for BNB, but I'm not able to get to that. And I think from some of the blogs I've seen or some posts, it's
it's
not
not
available
supported for US users. Yeah.
Users, okay. Is that something you guys are looking at implementing, or?
No, some assets we just can't give access to US users, like Self Token, Polkadot, and BNB. So it's just restricted due to the nature of the asset. And until things change, we won't be able to bring those live to US.
Got it. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yep, thanks for coming up. Daniel, what's going on?
Hey guys, how's it going? Just an Australian customer here. So I thought I'd firstly congratulate you. I thought it was really encouraging to see. Obviously, you guys hosting these chats in the way that you sort of handled, I think it was Sushi's issue before. So really great to see, especially when, I'm sure a significant amount of us have quite a bit of their net worth with you guys. I am looking at taking out a Bitcoin backed loan with you guys later on. Probably about a 25% LVR. And I do understand that if that loan sort of falls to a 65% LVR that you guys require, obviously for us to contribute some capital to bring it back up to that initial 25% amount. I did want to know if there was going to be any flexibility with this or any, any wiggle room, just especially because, if you're collateralizing it with Bitcoin, it's going to take a significant deposit to sort of bring it back to that initial 25%. Is there any way to sort of change it to that 50 or 45, depending on our situation?
I'm sorry. What are you trying to accomplish with the recollateralization?
So, for example, if I was to take out a USDC loan with you guys backed by Bitcoin, if the LVR was to fall from your initial 25% to 65%, you do require that loan to be brought back up to LVR of 25%. I was really looking to see if there was any flexibility with this at all, or what sort of the reasoning behind that one.
Yeah, so that's kind of our standard. If you have a special situation where you don't have enough asset to get it all the way back down to 25%, you can email loans@celsius.network, and they will work with you. The biggest thing is to be in communication and let them know, and to provide as much collateral as you can, or to return some of the loan if possible to get that LTV down.
Cool. Thanks, mate.
Yep.
Yep. Thanks for coming up, Daniel. Nathan, you're up next.
Hey, guys. My question's probably not as nitty gritty, just kind of wondering overall roadmap for Celsius next 1, 3, 5 years, and what features, plans you want to roll out as an organization.
I don't think I can speak on anything that broad, just because products and roadmaps change quite often. I could give an overall vision, which is to bring unparalleled financial access and high yield to 100 million people. And we're doing that in a way that's not going to charge them fees and not take any coins out of their accounts. So that's how we're going about it. And the goal that we want to bring is really help people get this financial access on the smallest scale. $100 loans, earning on $10 worth of crypto is just something that was not available to people before Celsius.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks for coming up, Nathan. Jason, what's up?
Hey, thanks for having me up again. I was hoping to ask one question and then bring up kind of one idea I wanted to float through. I'll start with the question. So next year, I'm hoping to go over to Southeast Asia, and I've been in that area a lot, and you pretty much have to use cash everywhere. So thinking to how I have most of my savings in Celsius, and most places I'm not going to be able to use a credit card for things. And I was just wondering if there's going to be any level of interoperability by which I can hold a US dollar stablecoin in Celsius, and then hopefully withdraw cash from an ATM, just from the stablecoin balance or anything like that. Do you guys have any plans to implement something in that scope?
We don't have any details like that on the credit card product, so I can't say at this time.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you for the answer. And then the one other thing I was just thinking about, so I know we're getting the Cell Token utility roadmap coming out, which I'm really excited about. In terms of all the utility stuff that you guys are going to be implementing, I trust you guys. I trust the team. I'm eating here. Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Really excited for that. I trust you guys. I trust the team. I think that everything you guys come up with is going to be fantastic. I just had one other idea that I think might be really beneficial for Celsius to implement. I think everything that's currently been going on is more or less a result of people feeling that there's a lack of correlation between the Cell token and Celsius, the company. Which I think has two different aspects to it. One, the real aspect, which is being dealt with through the utility, and two, the perceived lack of correlation. And that perception, it's kind of like one of those things where selling begets selling. The more that people perceive this lack of correlation between the two, the more it feeds the actual lack of correlation. People sell more. All of a sudden, assets are in reality less correlated, and then that begets more selling. And just one thing that I think would be really beneficial to help with that perception is that every week during the AMAs, when we post up the weekly stats for Celsius, and you can see the growth of the company and assets under management, transfers in, transfers out, all that good stuff. If we included Cell token metrics with that, so the number of users holding a balance of Cell token greater than 0, and then we can see the growth in that over time, the assets under management that are earning in Cell, the number of users that are earning in Cell, and post those right next to each other so you can see the growth of the company along with the growth of the Cell token literally right next to each other, so we can have that correlation in our minds right off the bat from the published statistics. I think that might really help with the perception of the correlation between the two, which I think could make actually a really big difference.
Yeah, I agree with all that. We do have to be careful on a regulatory front what we can and can't say about cell token, but providing factual information tends to be something that we can do. So yeah, let me ask to see what we're allowed to present on the AMAs as far as stats on adoption and use, and I think that would be great information to share.
Phenomenal. Yeah, just from my perspective, I understand you guys can't talk about cell token price. You guys can't try to pump it, anything like that. And I don't think any of us are looking for that in the first place. But just some statistics on the fundamental growth and adoption of the token right next to the fundamental growth and adoption of the platform, I think would be a really beneficial thing.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. And let me see if I can make that happen.
Thank you very much. And thank you for the time, guys. Cheers.
Thanks for coming up and sharing your ideas, Jason.
Thanks, Jason. Also wanted to say, appreciate what you do on the ambassador front as well. Good work. Thank you.
Cheers, brother.
Yep. Thanks for coming up. Raphael, what's going on?
Hi. I'd like to guide the Queen of Brazil and Iran.
What the hell is that?
Bombarded. We are getting bombarded tonight by trolls. It's crazy. There's 4 in the request right now. Anyways, Tecmo, welcome back up.
I think Plan B actually has a chart on. There's a high correlation to success and getting trolled. But
yeah, we must be doing good.
Yeah,
the winds
doing something right.
Just real quick, Zach, I know there's you said there's certain securities that we can't earn on in U.S. Brody, hold on. But you mentioned Polkadot. I just wanted to get a quick clarification because when that rolled out, I don't think U.S. users had it, but now I do have it in my app. So can I put it's in the app? So I assume we're good on that now.
App. Yeah, once it's in the app, then you're free to make those transfers.
Okay.
Like I said, it is an evolving situation. So as things change or we get more information, we provide access or restrict access accordingly.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep. Thank you.
Thanks for coming back up, Tecmo. Fred, what's going on?
What's up, guys? Just had a quick question on regards to the Vegas meetup. I'm from Vegas. I received the email, signed up within an hour of getting it. Just wondering if there's still an opportunity for us to go if we haven't heard back from you guys. I was really looking forward to
yeah, there's still an opportunity for sure. I mean, there's a wait list, and we'll see how many people show up and see how all that goes. But I would be prepared to come, and we'll try to make it happen.
All right. I remember Alex saying that everybody's invited, so he'll make it happen. So
yeah, I mean, he's the man that makes things happen. That's if you were to put Alex to describe him very briefly, you would say the guy that makes things happen.
All right. Well, hopefully I can make it out there and get to meet a bunch of you guys. So it'd be pretty awesome. So thanks.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for coming up, Fred. Charlie, I believe you're up next.
Hey, what's up? I just wanted to give a shout out to Celsius Hodler for Life, best Celsius ambassador that got me started with crypto and loved Celsius since. Hey, I just had a quick question. I'm trying to get my brothers hooked on Celsius, and if I can get them to sign up with Celsius with the promo code, and I let them borrow some of my Bitcoin just to get their toe dipped in the water, will that
negative? Yeah, you can't do it. Yeah, that would be classified as like gaming the promo system, and we do not condone that type of action. But there are very small promo codes that you can take advantage of, like a $50 promo, that don't require a lot of asset to begin with, but still give you a substantial reward percentage-wise.
Okay, and one other question I had is, with the cell swap that is rolling out, will there be some sort of ability to do recurring purchases so you can dollar cost average in?
And not initially, but that's definitely a function that we will be able to provide. And we'll see how that goes. But we do not are going to build out because it's hugely demanded by people, and that's going to be more of like a phase 2 functionality of that product, but not in the initial launch.
Okay, cool. That's all I had. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks for coming up, Charlie. Araceli, welcome up.
Hi, Josh. Good to talk to you again. Want to say hi to everyone wherever you are on this world. I just wanted to just make a comment in regards to customer service. Being on the other side of the table, it's not easy. And I just wanted to say that you guys handle very professional and with respect these tough situations that are not easy to handle. So I want to congratulate you guys for handling it like that. It's not an easy task, and that shows the type of team or the type team members that Celsius has, and that hopefully everyone along the line that comes in follows that ethic as well, and then continue growing the way it is. And then also can't wait to meet some of you guys on Friday. I'll be there, and let's keep spreading the word around about Celsius, and we'll see how far we can get. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for coming up and saying those kind words and dropping your comments, Araceli. Next up is Jimmy. What's going on?
Yeah, hello. Quick question. Any ideas of when the lending capabilities will be available in Louisiana? And then also, how would I be notified that that option is turned on?
I haven't heard anything specifically about Louisiana, but when you see it in the app, that's when it'll become available. And then we also may make an announcement about it, sharing that it's become available in that area.
Alrighty, thank you.
Yep, thanks for coming up, Jimmy. Elton, welcome back.
Hey, thanks, guys. So quick thing. Or question. So I'm just thinking about Celsius and how, like, just how we've just gone through like a market where like a lot of people bought homes within the last year before the house market eventually went up and rocketed in a sense. I was wondering, like, for those people that are in that, column, there's a lot of people that right now are looking for like ways to use loans or get equity out of their homes. Would Celsius be able to provide anything like that for like those, or even like younger people that, for example, bought like a whole bunch of crypto in college and are now have like a lot of like bags and stuff? Like, I'm just wondering, like, how could Celsius somehow work with that?
I mean, right now we can really only work with crypto collateral because it's liquid and flexible. It's got a huge liquid market, and it's what our system is really set up for. So, doing loans on other assets is still really difficult, but would be something very interesting to do down the road. But it's like we can't offer credit at this time, a loan without any asset behind it. This is, again, we're 4 years into the next 100 years of DeFi and new finance, and I think a lot of those things will change.
Gotcha. Yeah, thanks for that answer. Yeah, 100% agreed. The way like just technology and this field has advanced, I definitely would not be surprised that we see something along the lines. That'd be great.
Thanks for coming up, Elton. Just a reminder to the group here, feel free to share the room out, let everyone know we're live. And if you guys want to participate, jump on the mic down there in the bottom left and come up on stage. We encourage all you guys to participate. David, what's going on?
Hey guys, thanks for letting me speak. I just had a question on I guess a few things, but the promo codes, it was showing up as canceled when I was signing up for them for a few of them. I reached out to support and it looks like it was taken care of for the Cardano one, so we're good there. But the one that I missed was the 25, the stable 600 25,000 one. Am I able? I think you spoke to it. Am I able to reset that and do it if I never made the full transfer yet?
The promo code system is very sensitive, so without knowing your exact situation, I can't say anything for sure. But like if you haven't activated that code, if you've activated but didn't fulfill it and maybe canceled, and then we can see if we can reactivate it after you make a transfer. But yeah, it's gonna take special attention because each situation can be just slightly different, and our system is quite sensitive to those changes.
Okay. Yeah, I know for when I signed my dad up, I think it was just a matter of $100 missing because of of me referring him. So that was taken care of once we satisfy that extra $100 transfer. But for mine showed up as canceled, but I wasn't sure if I could reset it and do it myself. But yeah, that answers that question. And then another one about the swap, when that feature comes available, I'm assuming as far as when the transfers are made, swaps are made, 1099 and gains will be reported, and that'll be reported in the taxes when that happens.
No, because we don't know your gains when you do a swap. We don't know your cost basis on every asset you hold with us. So you're gonna have to track that on your own, or use a third-party software to track that. But we are not going to do any reporting based off of your swaps, only on the yield that you earn.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
Thanks for coming up, David. Next up, I believe, is Blaine.
Hey, how's it going, y'all? So yeah, I'm new to crypto, and I'm not even on Celsius yet, but I'm planning on getting on it. I had earlier mentioned something about Texas not being able to have some type of functionality or some type of interest gather or something like that. I was more curious if we can dive into that a little bit.
Yeah, each jurisdiction has different rules, and so we tailor our offerings to those rules in that area. So Texas, for example, we can't support stablecoins in that state, but we can support DAI because it's a different type of stablecoin. And then each state has its own little rules like that. Some can't use swaps, some can't use loans. And the way to know what's available in your state is to look at the app. You click the C menu, you'll see what's available and what's not. And that goes with assets and everything.
Awesome. Okay, thank you.
Yep, thanks for coming up, Blaine. Guys, I just got word Alex should be joining us here shortly, so feel free to share the room out. Let everyone know we're live. We're trying to gas the room up for him. So, Lloyd, I believe you're next.
Hey guys, how you doing? Just wanted to see if there's any update on a point that was discussed a couple of weeks ago with regards the Cell token kind of bonus tiers. I think a point was raised where looking at if there's a potential where if anyone has Cell, that then there would be kind of almost a tier under bronze. I think that was potentially being proposed, and whether or not that was still being considered.
Yeah, all kinds of ideas are being floated around and are still on the table. So, just hang tight, see what we're going to be able to bring out. But at the end of the day, we want to increase the utility of the token and the adoption.
Yeah, cool. No, I know it was probably mentioned at the time. It was raised a couple of weeks ago, but I think something like that would make sense because, of course, whilst, of course, people in the US, it's harder to get hold of Cell. It's still going to benefit everyone worldwide more so maybe, and more incentive to kind of earn to kind of gain Cell that way, I think. And also I think it still kind of feels like it's a little bit hidden sometimes, that kind of people don't realize that, oh, you can get that kind of tier bonus and things like that. I mean, for people who've got quite a lot of Ethereum and Bitcoin, for example, there's less incentive maybe to move into Cell as well and to then get up to that tier level. If you've got quite a large percentage of Bitcoin and Ethereum, for example, the kind of larger coins, then maybe they're thinking, well, yes, it would be nice also to have, say, 5% or 10% of Cell, but are they willing to sacrifice those kind of more kind of primary coins, I guess? So I guess that's the kind of thing that might work quite well if there is just that kind of, if you've got some Cell. But it'd be interesting to see what
there's a huge balance that we have to take between like usability and and benefit, and then what we're asking of users, versus what they get. So all this stuff is on the table now. Tushar is working on some great ideas. I heard some stuff that's being developed today. So absolutely, we want to bring more utility. We want to make it more viable for everybody. And there's a lot of ways to do that. And we're looking at what's going to work for us and what's going to work for the community.
Cool. Yeah, look forward to tracking that and seeing how it develops.
Thanks for coming up, Lloyd. Reagan, you're up next.
Yeah, hey, Josh. I was just a little bit of feedback. I think it was Eldon who was talking about, if people did, bought a house or had some big holdings and were looking to, what they can do with that. Well, there's two good things that Celsius can do already, and that's, the fact if you're lucky enough that you can borrow against your crypto assets rather than having to sell them, because everyone always thinks that when people have sold, it's never been great for them. So that's one thing. But the other one as well, and not financial advice, but if you did own a home and it's gone up significantly in value recently on a low interest rate, you've got equity there that that you can very likely put into a platform like Celsius, and and even on a stable coin and earning 10% versus a 2% mortgage. There's a lot of positivities in that as well. So that's two really good reasons to use the platform as well.
Yep. Thank you for that, Reagan. Tecmo, welcome back up.
Hey, so, sorry to keep coming back up, but I just had a quick question on the promo code thing. I'm an experienced Celsian, and even I have had times when my brain shuts off, and I've got 2 promos active, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna make a tiny transfer here, and then it cancels them, and then as soon as I hit send or something, I know exactly what I just did, and I screwed up the promos. I'm like, oh, there goes that. I'm wondering if it's possible for the devs to have something like pop up and say, hey, I see you have these promos, confirmed, or whatever, I forgot the term. Just something to pop up right before, when you're requesting a transfer or something, to say, hey, this is going to affect your promo. Are you sure? If something like that could be done.
That's a good idea. I've heard that raised. I'd be curious to see if Plan C or someone like that would do a poll to see what type of action that would get from the community. That's always a good idea, because because when we see those polls, that helps us to know how many people in the community actually want that feature or want that benefit. So I would suggest doing something like that, but I'll also run it up the flagpole as well.
Yeah, and if it's something that only I want, I fully appreciate that resources are not infinite. So, if that's cool, if that's not, but I just think in terms of protecting people and idiots like myself at times, it could be a good little feature.
Sorry to interrupt, but that's actually live already. There is and whether it's been changed, but the last one that I did, which actually stopped me, was I was going to do a withdrawal, and an alert came up within the app saying this will affect one of your promo codes. So
yeah,
unless that's been
I think
removed,
we do that. Unless it has been removed, that is something that's on there. And I bet you just passed it, not reading those signs that a lot of people skip. But yeah, it would tell you this withdrawal may affect one of your promos.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe I'm just dumber than I thought I was.
So we need to make it bigger and redder, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I need it in like 42 font.
And maybe with a tone, like a
yeah, exactly. I don't know if you guys ever watched Silicon Valley, but when Guilfoyle, he set a tracker to whenever Bitcoin went up or down, and it just screamed through the entire business. Something like that would be effective.
just do a voice recording of Mashinsky yelling at you. That'll stop you.
Yeah.
I guess I should make a withdrawal so I can check it out. I just don't withdraw.
Yeah, I was actually going to say the same thing. I've done the same withdrawal. And actually, so on some of these things, so if you take, I've taken a loan, right, and you're supposed to be able to withdraw that out, right, without it canceling a promo code. But it will actually, for me, I have received that same message that says this will cancel X promo, whatever it is, it'll state it, and then I've been like gritting my teeth and going, well, loans department said it wasn't supposed to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and test it out, and I go ahead and test it, and I do withdraw, and it doesn't cancel the promo. Then I'm like, oh, cool, the system works. So it does work both ways, actually. I will say that other one was a little bit more of a test, and if it does cancel the promo, you're supposed to reach out to loans department to get that reversed or back in. But yeah, just wanted to drop that info.
Thanks for that, John. Tecmo, are you all set?
All set, thank you.
Sure. Dopeness, I know you're up next. What's going on?
Hey, Josh. First off, I just want to lead off by saying that was incredible the other night with Alex, who basically commended you on your tireless work ethic and how persistent you are, and gave you a job on Twitter Spaces. I thought that was incredible. So congrats to you. That was dope. So I have a question for you guys. So I'm actually rocking one of my apes, Bored Ape Yacht Club. And I kind of got into NFTs a while ago when Beeple sold for like 69 million. I'm like a US equities trader, portfolio manager, and I was like, wow, what's going on with this art scene? And kind of got into DeFi. It was in 2016, which I held on to my Bitcoin. And you guys probably should send me that Mashinsky yelling at me. But anyway, any thoughts on some sort of custodian way of like holding NFTs and maybe some sort of way where people can lend against it, short terms? I brought this up before to Alex. He kind of said, not right now, or kind of moved on. But just thought, with everything going on in the NFT world and all these big brands coming on board, and there's inherent value, intrinsic, should we say? Just throw that out there.
Yeah, I think it's a bit from our standpoint, it's a bit premature for us to dive right into it right now. Maybe in the future, we're closely watching it. Very excited about it, but when it comes to earning yield, we're not quite sure how we would earn yield on it at this time. So that's something that we're definitely looking at. We're interested in that space. But right now it's a bit early for us. I don't know if you had anything else to add to that, Zach.
Yeah, the thing with NFTs right now is that they're not monetizable as easily, and they're much less liquid than Bitcoin or Ethereum. So the reason why we can offer loans at such a low interest rate is because we can rehypothecate that collateral, earn yield, and we're charging our counterparties, not our customers. We just can't do that with NFTs of any kind at this point. So, that market will develop and change. And then I think we will be able to, but right now we just can't monetize them in an efficient way.
Yeah, just to add on to that. So, I luckily own a bunch of the animal kingdom, toads and cats and punks and things like that. But I'm not sure if you guys follow, but the apes, they're actually, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, they are releasing a token in their ecosystem. So there's some sort of yield there, and it's interesting, the tokenomics
Is
that
it a
they're
staking
introducing.
asset?
Correct. Yeah. So according to the amount of NFTs that you own in that community, 10,000, and I think the Kennel Club also, another NFT they created, you're able to mint it if you owned an ape for free, which they kind of basically created a way to create value and a new asset. For example, I had this ape and I was in their Discord, and they played like Who Let the Dogs. It was going dog wild. And long story short is, I received my dogs, and I was able to like sell them for like, I don't know, 10 ETH for one of them, and 15 ETH. And it's like, it was was wild, and now they're trading. And my point is that there is, maybe something offline. I could share some spreadsheets, but it seems that it's just a derivative. I've used them actually as instead of going to like a stable coin like USDC, or I wish, and I was down in Florida. I'm in New York, so I can't get any sell tokens. I would have definitely done that, but I bought NFTs as like a hedge, especially liquid ones. And you're right, they are very illiquid, especially during this NFT winter. But just something to kind of throw out there, because I think, it's a lot of big brands are getting into the space, such as like Playboy and Time Magazine. Mark Benioff, he basically paid for whatever. So I just wanted to throw that out there, if anything is being done. But I see Alex is here, so I'll not take up too much time.
No, it's all good. It's a good question.
Yeah, and NFTs are just a maturing space. At one point, Bitcoin was just magic internet money, and now it's the gold standard of collateral in this entire industry. And I think there will be a lot of ways to monetize NFTs, and they will become more liquid markets, and things will develop. So the cool thing is all this is software and can move so much faster as far as advancements than any other hardware or any other technology prior. It's getting worked on from 100,000 different angles. So yeah, I think a lot to come from NFTs, but we just can't monetize them right now and use them like the other assets.
Thank you for that.
Hi, guys.
Thanks for coming up, Dopeness. What's going on, Alex? How are you?
I have a few special guests here with me. I have my co-founders with me. This is the first time you got all the co-founders on the call. We have a team meeting here in New York. We got together, and another co-founder who joined 3 years late. So
it's never too late when it comes to Celsius. Hey guys, this is Daniel. How you guys are doing?
You're getting a thumbs up already.
Oh wow, that's awesome! Come on, everybody, thumbs up!
You also got the late bloomer.
The late bloomer.
Yes, we have Nook here. Say hi.
Hi
Nook.
guys, hello. I'm wearing my hodl beanie for the first time in 6 months. That's what happens when I'm
Daniel here from Israel, visiting from Israel.
Hey guys, good to hear all of you. I should do this more often. Good to be here in New York
In person.
Yeah. Good to be here in New York after a very long time. We are here. We got together. We're getting together with technology, the infrastructure, the system, to plan the future of Celsius. How we're going to scale this not to 30 billion, but to 100 billion, and then to 250 billion. So we scaled extremely fast, and now it's time to kind of take a quick step back, so we can take 3 steps forward to build the infrastructure that will be able to carry us to many hundreds of billions of dollars. So we're spending some time here with our investors, with our advisors, and with significant team members that came from London, from Tel Aviv. So far, some productive conversations, and hopefully we'll have some news to report soon. I'm not big on promises. That's why you're not hearing. That's why you're not hearing from me. But hopefully we'll have a lot of great results that you may not feel, as a customer. But on the infrastructure side, it will allow both our deployment team and our core financial teams to do what they do just better and faster. So good to be here, and hopefully I'll be attending many more of these. So thanks a lot, and here's Alex back.
All right, and now we have Ron Deutsch, our GC, General Counsel. So yeah, definitely, this is your chance to ask them questions. Don't ask me anything.
No questions. Hi everybody, Ron Deutsch, company's General Counsel, and handling M&A as well and investments. Nice to meet everybody. And contrary to what Alex said, I'm here to hang out and meet everybody, not to answer legal questions. Nice to meet everyone.
All right, so post your question and we'll try to answer them.
If we had one question for Ron, it would be when sell US accredited? That's the big hot one.
It's coming.
Well, we have good news on that. We have thumbs up to go ahead. So in December, we will be launching it for US accredited sell token. All right.
All right, guys. Well, this is very exciting. We have all of the founders there. We've got a dynamic group, so bring all your questions. It could be tech related. It could be aimed at Alex. Like we said, we've got a law person here, so come up. Don't be shy. Please participate. Tap on the mic in the bottom left, and let's get it rolling here. Wyatt, I think you're up next. Wyatt, if you're speaking. All right, never mind. John Q, you're up next.
Well, wow, lucky night here. We get the whole team. Hello, Nuke and Alex and everybody. Thank you so much again for everybody's great, excellent work here with Celsius. We're just out here in California spreading the good word constantly. My question tonight is regarding the previous speaker, and I don't remember the name. I think it may have been Sushi. It was the person that was having an issue because of a large deposit made to Celsius. So my question is this. You know, we've grown up with a banking system, and we know that it's gotten more difficult whenever we put in large deposits or we take out large deposits. They oftentimes want, you know, if you take out more than 10,000, you got to fill out a form that goes to the IRS and all this stuff. So apparently this particular speaker had a problem where she made a large deposit and it was scrutinized. And certainly I understand that, you know, if the money's coming from a hacked exchange or, you know, it's obviously tied to some bad actors somehow, you know, something has to be done. But what can we do as Celsians to prevent, stepping on a landmine? Because nobody obviously wants their money held. I've been in this space for almost 5 years, and there's been times when my deposits or my transfers didn't go through, and it's always, you know, your heart starts beating. It's always a lot of anxiety and stress because it isn't typical finance, and you can't just pick up an 800 line and solve the problem. So what can we do as Celsians to prevent scrutiny from large deposits? Is there a certain criteria we can follow? Are there things we can avoid? Is making smaller deposits better? What advice can you give the community?
There isn't much you can do. I mean, I think the banks have very strict rules. They're obviously trying to prevent people from withdrawing their money and sending it to crypto or bringing it from crypto exchanges back into the banks because they see that as risk. So it's definitely something that I don't see any solution to that anytime soon. You know, so unfortunately, that's where we are.
Well, Alex, I know you weren't on the call when this person was talking, but it was a Celsian. There was a Celsian who had sent a deposit to Celsius, several Bitcoins. I don't know how many, but there was a hold placed on her funds apparently at the Celsius level because it was a large deposit. So my thoughts are: what can we do to prevent that, or what is the criteria? Is there anything we can do to prevent that from happening when we make large deposits to Celsius?
Yeah, it's on the transfer outside. So it's part of our overall security practices that when a large transfer gets initiated, we like to double check that is going to the right person, and it's the right amount and nothing fraudulent is going on. So it's really part of our overall security strategy. And to avoid that, you really can't, because once you hit a certain dollar limit, it automatically enacts. So you can either do smaller amounts over several days, or just do that one transfer. Her case was exceptional in the fact that it shouldn't go that way. Usually we can get those large transfers out in 12 to 24 hours. But we have a process for it, and we're making it better. And her instance is going to be handled by Sharon. He's already on the case.
Okay, so it was an outgoing transfer. Maybe I was misunderstanding, Zach, and I apologize.
Guys,
I thought it was an incoming transfer.
I got to drop off because my team is waiting here. I just wanted to say hi and have the rest of my gang here say hi, and we'll see you guys on Friday from Las Vegas. Okay. Talk to you later.
Thank you guys for joining with us.
Okay, so thank you, Zach. I think you answered that question. I think that concludes my questioning. I didn't know it was regarding an outgoing withdrawal.
Yeah, like you can't because when you get a transfer in, that's on the blockchain. There's no stopping that from where it's sent. But when it's leaving our system, we do a second check after a certain amount to be certain that that is going to the right person. There's no bad acting taking place.
Okay, that's more of a security issue to protect the customer's funds going out. I get it.
Correct.
And definitely appreciate that. All right. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Yep.
Yep. Thanks for coming up, John. Nev, did I pass you over, or did you
No,
go?
I'm still here. Comment on. I was waiting to Alex's questions were finished, but Reagan's comments about real estate earlier, answering someone's earlier question. There's 3 stories that come to mind that I've heard of from other Celsians, so not financial advice, just stories I've heard. I've heard of people borrowing against their holdings for a deposit, so maybe they qualify for a traditional real estate loan, but don't have the deposit, so that you can borrow with Celsius and use the funds for that, because what you do with it's up to you. I've heard others that do have a lot of holdings and can borrow enough to buy a property outright. If you're in that position, awesome. You don't have to then qualify for a normal traditional loan. And then I did hear of one American Celsian who they actually sold his house, and he had a wife and kids, so he wasn't doing it on his own. He had a family, sold his house, put the proceeds from the house sale into Celsius, and now he's paying the rent with what he's yielding, and there's still left over for living expenses. So none of those are financial advices, but 3 ideas of what is possible with cell loans and with the Celsius app.
Thanks for that, Nev. Next up, I believe Igor.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share with you guys. I'm from Mexico City. I just recently moved my cryptos to Celsius. I have a pretty basic question. I couldn't find a place. I even asked a support. I leave a question at support about what about if I pass away? Is there any mechanism or is there any form I can fill in order to declare in case I pass away, who is going to be the beneficiary of my cryptos? What happens if I pass away? That's my question.
Yeah, we're unable to legally enforce a beneficiary system. So if you do have a Celsius account, you'd want to put it in your will or your current structure of next of kin or family planning. So be sure to have it in your will or let your lawyers know that you do have assets with us. But as far as Celsius' side, we just don't have the legal capability to enforce any kind of next of kin situation.
Got it. But in this case, my wife can claim my cryptos in case I pass away, just only with a legal confirmation that she's my wife or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know the exact process. I know it's manual, and I do need to learn more about it. But we go through a very manual process to recover those accounts. Because there is no way that we can enforce a beneficiary just on our own.
Thank you for that.
Yep. Thanks for coming up, Igor. Next up is Laura.
Hi, everyone. I have a couple of comments and a couple of questions as well. I know Alex is no longer here, but in this tweet, but I just want to say thank you to him and to all the founders that have finally made it possible for the financial system to work for us instead of us working for the financial system. And it is awesome to have that ability to get a loan against your cryptos without selling it. And in a sense, is having your money in 2 different places without losing the opportunity for the growth on whatever coins you may have. And the question that I have is, I'm in the East LA area, and I have a few people that are interested in joining or opening an account with Celsius. And my question is, if this community, it is non-resident, they do have a foreign passport, and they have a federal tax ID number, will that be enough to establish their Celsius account? And the second actually comment that I was going to make for the previous gentleman that was speaking, I guess having this Celsius account listed in your living trust might be the best way to transfer your assets in case something happens to you.
So to sign up for a retail account, you have to have government ID, a passport, driver's license, state ID, and there's no asset minimum after that. So as long as she has an address and a state ID, it shouldn't be an issue, and should be able to get in.
So they need to have a state ID, and that's the part that they don't have. They have the foreign passport.
They have a passport.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, with a passport, then they should also be able to use that to sign up.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, and then just have her start with the app, download, try that process. If it doesn't work, then from there I'd reach out to support and let them know. But she should be able to sign up with a passport.
Thanks for coming up, Laura. Did that conclude your questions and comments?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
No problem. Chrissy, welcome in. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you? Do you have any questions, comments, feedback for us?
Yeah, so Zach touched on something about, there's a certain amount of money where it could be put on hold and you might not be able to access it. What is that amount, Zach?
It is $150,000 worth of crypto in any one transaction, or $600,000 per day. So if you hit either of those limits, we'll do a second verification, which includes a video of yourself holding your ID, talking about the amount, and then we will process that after those limits. So 150,000 in a single transaction, or 600,000 total per day.
And is that something that Celsius established as a company, or is that industry-wide?
That's our own policy, and on top of that, we look at other user behaviors. If someone's transferring out 140,000, maximum times for maximum days, that's also user behavior we look at. But that is a Celsius imposed policy for our risk department.
Okay, and then just one other question regarding New York. So in the state of New York, while I'm in the state of New York, what can I do and what can I do?
So right now, New York users are limited. We're not taking on new users. And if you're an existing user, you have access to just a handful of assets. I think Bitcoin, Ethereum, Stablecoin, and Cell Token. You can earn yield on those. I believe you can take loans on those as well. And that's all I'm certain of for sure. It's really just a restricted asset thing, and then we're unable to take new users at this time until we get.
Okay, but I can earn yield.
Correct. Yeah, on those limited assets, yes.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Thanks for joining us up here, Chrissy. Next up, I believe, Crypto King.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I was going to ask Alex, but since he left, maybe Zach can answer if you have the answers. Just on where we are on the mining news and what happened to the what was those 4 words? REVO?
REVO. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what that stands for, but it's still in the works.
Okay.
We'll get more information out on that when we're allowed.
All right.
And then what was the first part?
I was wondering if the mining news, if you have any information on the mining news that was supposed to go
Oh
out
yeah,
a couple of weeks ago.
no further information on that. Just be looking out for a press release.
Okay, all right, sounds good. Thanks.
Thanks for coming up, Crypto is King. Bill Brooklyn, or
yeah, thank you for taking my question. I probably came in a little bit late tonight, but I was curious, is there any update on the credit card, and also when will we be able to stake Solana tokens? Thank you.
No update on the credit card at this time. And Solana is in the onboarding process. I don't have a date for it, but it is an asset that we're looking to bring on.
Okay, thank you.
That's great news, Zach. Is that due to the new GK8 partnership, or is that coming through Fireblock?
Josh, whoa! Don't be giving out all the spicy news at one time, okay? So loose lips sink ships. But no, it's because there's a ton of demand for it. I think there's lending opportunities available, and now we're just getting it through the tech support and the rest of it. But yeah, Josh, be cool. All right, be cool.
All right, cool. I'll keep that between you and me. Bill, did you have any other questions?
No, that was it. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks for coming up. Bobby, welcome up.
Yes, sir. It was nice to hear the guys hanging out together in New York, the co-founders. That was so wonderful to hear that. Just wanted to say happy belated birthday to Chrissy. She does such a great job with her company and whatnot. And just wanted to say we had a great time in Florida, and the way Nuke let me look around the office and everything like that, it was such a beautiful thing. And we joke a lot about it, and we wonder if I had walked in Apple and asked them to let me look around the office, they probably would have called the police on me. So we just had a wonderful time there. That's all I got. Great time. And I hope you guys have a great time in Vegas. Thank you.
Thanks for coming up and sharing with us, Bob. Merv, can you or Marvin, can you mute yourself real quick? Thank you for that.
Also, thank you, Bobby, for your help in Tampa. It was really appreciated.
Quite welcome.
All right. Moving on to Crypto YOLO.
Hi. Well, thanks for calling on me. Appreciate you guys raising the stablecoin rates above 10% again. I guess they were there when I started, and I like the increased rates. My question is, though, as you all know, kind of ETH gas has got ridiculous. And so are there any plans to support USDC and other coins on alternate chains?
Yes, ETH gas fees have gotten ridiculous, and our stablecoin rates have also gotten ridiculous. But yeah, we're looking on how to support these assets on other chains. Back in the day, ETH transfer fees used to be a few pennies, and before that, way back in the day, it was fractions of a penny. But as the space grows and as these blockchain scales,
spit down my throat, Daddy.
Jesus Christ, we're being very successful. Like, look at all the trolls that are coming in. Parker with his daddy issues. But
that was a high level one.
Wow. Yeah, serious. Go get some counseling. But yeah, so we're looking to bring these assets onto other platforms and other chains so that they can be cost efficient for us and our users. It's tough to bring on a few $100s worth of stable coins if the fee is a few $100s, right? It just doesn't make sense. So all this in due time. Scaling takes time. The technology takes a long time to build. And then anytime there is something that works, like Matic is a great solution for this. It takes a ton of developers and developer hours to onboard that platform onto our system. So it's not as easy as, oh, hey, this is viable, let's try it out. There's a ton of planning, security, risk that goes into what we use. So that's why we have to be a little on the slower side to react, but it's part of our security precautions and overall risk.
Okay, and then my other question is, it seems like the don't poke the bear strategy on the regulatory front wasn't as successful as it could have been, in that you got attention anyway. So can you kind of give us an overall update on where things stand on the U.S. regulatory front? Not so much with bringing Solana as an accepted asset, but in terms of just maintaining and being able to legally operate the core business.
Was the phone dead? Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah, sorry. So there's nothing to update on that right now. We're always going to work with regulators. Some have asked us for more information. Some have asked us to change our policies, and we're always going to work with those regulators and remain compliant. So as that develops, we'll put out statements to the areas that are involved and move on from there.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks for coming up, Crypto YOLO. Sushi Girl, I noticed you're back up. What's going on?
Hey guys, sorry to bring up a story here with my previous earlier concern about the transfer limit. So I think Chrissy just answered my question about the maximum limit, which I can confirm is what I had. I exceeded the limit for that day to transfer. So thank you for having the belts and suspenders in place to basically control that output. But so my concern was at the beginning of this conversation, and I still haven't received. So at this point, I've been corresponding offline, and I just asked the people working on my account to leave my Bitcoins alone in my account. So basically, don't bother transferring this. Just revert it back to what it was, status quo. And I still haven't gotten that settled.
Yeah, I've been in communication with you. I forwarded your information to Sharon, who was on this call earlier. He's working on the case. Depending on where your transfer was in the process, it may or may not be cancelable. I'm not certain. He has the access over that information. So trust me, we're on this 100% right now. You have our full attention, and we're going to get this resolved. Now it's actively being worked on. This is not something that's getting put off, and your coins are safe. You're not going to lose any asset. We're here to protect your coins, and we're going to get those back to you, either in your account or transferred to your wallet, and make sure that you're satisfied at the end of the day.
Okay, and while we're on the hello?
Yep, yeah, we hear you.
Okay, and while we're on the subject of the coins being safe, that's frankly what's giving me anxiety here, because we're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars. And even though I was trying to be smart and proactive and just transfer one Bitcoin at a time, at this point, as I mentioned, it's been 5 days. So, like, how do we know that it's safe? So the address that I gave to you on Friday, right? Today I tried, that's one of my Ledger wallets. Today I was doing some other offline Bitcoin transactions from some other places, and I noticed my address was different. So the address that I used on Friday is not the same address that I'm using today. So how do I know that 5 days into it you're still transferring my coins and they're safe.
Yeah, those addresses are generally hierarchical deterministic, meaning that a large number of addresses go into one main address. Coinbase does the same thing where you can look every day and the deposit address will be different. But if you send coins to them, they always show up in your account because that address is always yours. Even though they cycle them through, it permanently goes into your wallet.
Okay.
So, there's
So,
no issue there. And you always want to do a test transaction just to be safe. That's always
which
a
is what I
responsible
did.
thing to do. Right.
So,
Yeah, so that's good. And then like I said, in your case, they're looking at it right now, seeing where it is in the transfer process. If it was already pending and may have been waiting for a batch to go out to the wallets that it said before, or it may be early enough that they cancel it and it just remains in your wallet. I don't have that details, but Sharon is working on your case right now, and we will get that resolved.
okay. So, but what you're saying is, even though that I used the address on Friday, that unique address, even though it changed from my Ledger wallet, even though you're going to finalize the transaction, hypothetically, I ask you to leave it in my current account, but if for whatever reason that fails and you do manage to transfer it into my Ledger wallet, then that address is still valid. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah, those addresses in your ledger are all tied together. So it's not gonna, that those coins aren't gonna be sent to somebody else. They're still gonna go to your ledger, and they're not gonna be lost.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks for coming up. Jason, welcome up.
Awesome. Thanks for having me again. Just a quick question. So Alex always talks about how he built Celsius for himself. He provided the services on the platform that he needed for himself, and then he opened it up for everyone else. We're always going to be most connected to what we need for our own needs and the services that we require for ourselves. I was just thinking about the question that I asked earlier. Someone asked about getting deposit addresses that aren't on the Ethereum blockchain. In terms of these kind of things where, these are the specific services that we feel that we need in our day-to-day lives and the financial services that we need to access, is there any way that we could get like some kind of like a Google Docs or like some kind of a document going on the Celsius website where we could submit our ideas for like the specific services that we want in the future that would positively impact our experience on the platform or anything like that?
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of which direction we move in. So like when Alex was asking about cell token utilities, there was over 450 responses, and that tells Alex, hey, this is something we need to put time and energy in. This is something we need to look at all these ideas and we need to make some action on. So writing to Alex or writing to Celsius on Twitter is a very effective way to let us know what you want. And then, you can organize it as a community and you can post up a document and send it to us, or you can do a video, or, you can do polls or whatever you'd like and works best. And we're very receptive to that. We want to see these ideas. We want to implement what's possible, but always understand that when it comes to technology changes, they take a lot of time and effort. When it comes to app changes, a lot of time and effort. But policy changes or features or things like that is all stuff that we can work towards and move in that direction. But yeah, that's the whole point, is for this company to work in the best interest of its users and work in the direction that they want it to. We don't want to create products that our users don't want.
I guess just as a really small follow-up question, as obviously, a person who works at Celsius, how well do you feel like you're connected right now to understanding all of the services and the needs and the requirements that the community has? And do you feel like it'd be a positive thing, like if I was to go on and create some kind of a Google document and pass it around the Plan C Telegram chat and the Ambassador chat and try to get it around the community to find out what other services people specifically want? Is that something that you feel like would be helpful? Or do you guys feel like you're already like super on top of it?
No, I think that would be very helpful. There's some flexibility in the direction that we go moving forward, right? A lot of things are built out and kind of placed on the roadmap, such as swaps, such as fiat gateway. But if there's always new information that needs to come in, and we need to every day get feedback from our community. And that's why we do this. That's why we do the Friday shows. That's why we're so active on Twitter, is to continually get that feedback and make course corrections. So in the history, I've tried stuff like that, and it's hard to get people organized and to put in information. But if you can make that happen, that's a huge help to us, because you're basically surveying our user base and asking which direction should we go next, and what should we put more time and energy into. And that's helpful for us, helpful for our community, and everybody.
Cool. Any way that we can find a role to play for ourselves to try to benefit the community and the company is what we're all here and all about. So thank you very much. I'll see what I can do looking into the future. Cheers, and thanks for having me back up.
Yeah, work with Plain C on this, because he's had a lot of success on this so far and is deep in the community. So I'm sure he'd love to help you with that.
100%. We've got a beautiful community behind us, and I will reach out to Plan C and everyone else that I can. Thank you.
Thanks for coming up, Jason. Russell, what's going on?
Good evening, guys. Love these shows. Enjoy being part of Celsius. I know there's videos online on YouTube for, I guess, ways to purchase Cell token in the US. I'm here in Ohio. Those videos obviously involve either Uniswap or transferring tokens and all that such. And as you mentioned, the ETH fees are very expensive to do that. There has to be an easier or better way to buy Cell tokens for us Americans to participate in the Cell token economy. And I've never found a good YouTube video or anything or any source where I can buy Cell token myself as a US citizen. Do you have any advice? Are there any YouTube videos that you know of, or anything that I can to participate in the Cell token environment?
Yeah, so in the US right now, there's really only two ways. One is on a decentralized exchange, which worked great until fees became hundreds of dollars. And then the other is via our OTC desk, which doesn't incur a fee at all, but you have to be an accredited investor in the US. Unfortunately, there's no other way around it. Those are kind of the only two options available to US. And I totally understand the concern, and it is a major problem. But right now, we can't really do anything to provide more access to Cell token, just due to the regulatory framework. So we lowered that OTC to $5,000 to try to make it as accessible as possible. But you do have to be accredited, and that's just the laws of the land.
That's fine. Okay, so you talk about the only other option I have then is to use a decentralized exchange. Can you give me some examples of what that is or who that is so I can explore those options?
Yeah, it's on Uniswap. It's on, I think, 1inch. It's on the MetaMask option. It's on most of those decentralized exchanges. And just take a look. Be careful, because there are scams on some of those, and always verify that it is the right token. But I've used Uniswap in the past to get Cell token, and it works fine. But just right now, the fees are quite prohibitive for smaller amounts.
Okay, I guess as soon as you guys hear or learn of any way for non-accredited people to get Cell token in the US, of course, let us know, because people like me would be the first in line to dump about 30 grand at least into it, which is not a lot to some people, but that's a lot to me. So I'm ready to go.
An interesting workaround for accredited investor is to get your Series 65, which, depending on how motivated you are, you can study for that from a couple weeks to a couple months. Get your Series 65 and become accredited that way. It doesn't cost a lot of money, but does.
Wait a minute. I actually have my 65. I'm a financial advisor for a living.
Then you're an accredited investor.
Okay, so how do I get accredited then?
So yeah, you're going to go to verifyinvestor.com, and they will verify you as accredited, and then from there you just contact the OTC desk. Well, actually, contact the OTC desk first. Then they'll give you a link to accredited. Once they verify you, we can't verify you, but Verify Investor will. And then once that's verified, we can sell you the token via OTC.
Perfect. Is that just OTC at Celsius.network?
Yeah, correct. Just OTC at Celsius.network.
All right. Thank you so much, Zach. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Thanks for coming up, Russ. And I told you 1,000 times now, Zach, no squeaky toy during the AMA.
I'm sorry, I just can't help myself.
Shadow, you're up next.
Hi, guys. I just have 3 quick questions, hopefully. My first
one at
question,
a time.
Correct. My first question is, I know that recently there's been news about like a stablecoin crackdown. If anything were to happen about that, like let's say that USDC, gets labeled as a security or anything, would we get our money back?
Yes, of course. If anything were like that to happen, or if there's some huge regulatory change, we would have to stop paying yield, and then everyone could withdraw their assets. And that's what we did in other areas, and that's what we do if that were to take place in any state or in the U.S. in total.
Okay. And then my second one is, have you guys or have any plans on having Terra, the stablecoin Terra?
Terra Luna?
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. I can't give you an answer on that. I haven't heard anything.
Okay. All right. And I think I already forgot my third question, so pretty much. Well, quick question. I think this is.
You can come back too if you.
Okay, I'll come back because I forgot it. But those were my main 2 questions. But thank you guys for the answers.
Sure. Yep. Like you said, just tap on the request if you remember it.
All right. Cool.
Thanks for coming. All right, Doggy, you're up next.
Hi guys, how are you? So I have 2 questions. So first question is that I'm based here in Montreal, Canada. So what is the easiest way to convert Canadian dollars into Canadian stablecoin over the Celsius network? Is there any way to send a bank in track via email or something like that?
No, we don't do the conversion. You have to do it at a Canadian
No.
exchange.
I mean, no. I'm not talking about conversion. I mean, you guys actually support Canadian stablecoin like TCAD on Celsius.network.
Yeah, I believe we do have TCAD.
So how can I send my Canadian dollars to Celsius network application so that it will be converted into my stablecoins over your platform?
So that's what I'm saying. We do not do that conversion. You'll have to buy the TCAD from an exchange that has it in Canada. And then from there, you'll send it on an ERC20 network to Celsius. You can open the app. You'll see a transfer address.
But is there any way that I can send a fiat directly to?
No, not at this time. No, it's still in development. So we cannot convert that fiat into TCAD or any other crypto.
Okay, so it means that there won't be any fiat transaction from outside US, right?
At this time, correct. You cannot transfer fiat in any way, shape, or form to Celsius.
But I can transfer any crypto and then I can convert it later on the platform, huh?
The cryptos that we support, you can transfer. And then we're rolling out things like swap that will allow you to swap it from one asset to another.
Okay, so my second question is that being a very, not too wealthy investor, just like a broke investor, I just want to make sure that my investments are safe. So because today BlockFi has made some blunders and they send out some information to their users to ask, fill out the information, and later on they send out an email. Please don't do that. So it seems like something was compromised on their side, Today, it happened actually today, So
yeah, no, that happens. You do have to be very careful
Yeah,
There's
so
always
actually,
attackers.
I actually become one of the victim of their, this act of non-seriousness. So what I was thinking is that, I mean, is there any, because I read somewhere with Alex chats or interviews that he's thinking of, and he's having a vision of having a private insurance, that anyone can have to protect their savings, because crypto, the biggest fear is hacking, bugs, smart code problems, or something like that, right? So is there, I mean, what are the possible ways, or the security threats, that if I deposit $500,000, I mean, is it possible that I will be just going homeless or something? I mean, this is my biggest fear.
Right, and we don't ever want you to hold an amount in Celsius that makes you feel uncomfortable, right? So Alex will say,
But at the same
if
time,
you're
I want to make
holding,
money.
of course we all do, right? But you have to do it in a risk way that you're comfortable with. So if X amount keeps you up at night, then you're going to have to take away from that. There is a level of risk while using Celsius, right? You are trusting us with your keys. And there is a level of risk, and we keep it as low as possible, but you have to do that on a very individual basis and see what's comfortable for you. And if you're uncomfortable holding a ton of asset on our platform, then don't hold it there. We want to be
Yes,
sure
I
that
mean,
you
see, I
are
mean,
doing what's
this
best
is
for
the
you.
thing. I mean, it's very easy to say that if you feel uncomfortable, then if I feel uncomfortable, then what is the purpose of these platforms?
Well, if you feel uncomfortable with the platform, then it would be best for you not to use it. I feel comfortable with it. 1.2, 1.3 million people feel comfortable with it, but if you're not feeling comfortable with it, then it's best for you not to use it, right? We take every human possible step to prevent security breaches, to prevent loss of coins, to manage risk properly. But you have to become comfortable with the platform because you are trusting us with your keys, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's just whatever you feel best with.
So
So
let's
yes,
say,
we
so let's say there's option of hodl in Celsius, right? Hodl. So
hodl mode. Yep.
how that hodl option is better than all other options available on Celsius? Because I was just checking some Alex interview, and he mentioned this
Mm-hmm.
hodl. How hodl is, I mean, more strong in
So
terms of security?
yeah, hodl mode basically locks down your account from any transfers out. So we give you, when you activate hodl mode, an 8-digit PIN.
Mm-hmm.
And until you re-enter that digit PIN and wait 24 hours, there's 0 transfers that will take place in your account. So it's basically locking your account down. You still earn yield and still have that product, but there will be no transfers made out of your account. And that's the purpose of hodl mode. It's an extra layer of security on top of all the other layers of security we have.
And but at the same time, if someone has the keys, he can get it, right?
I mean, technically, yes, if someone gets your keys, but like I said, I feel that if you're that concerned, or if you don't trust Celsius on the security side, then it may not be the best place for you to hold your assets. That's what I'm saying. There's
Yeah, no,
nothing
I
I can
understand
do.
that. You know what? Actually, I have a background in security, and if you guys remember me from my past AMAs, I have involved in one of the world's largest Bitcoin custodian company that is actually situated underlying Swiss Alpines in the Swiss decommissioned military bunkers. Even I don't even trust them. So it was very difficult for me. But
Right.
I was just curious to know your answers. So anyway, thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, we do everything conceivable to protect user assets, because that's our first 2 jobs: protect users' coins and protect users' coins, and then we provide yield.
Yeah.
But you are taking a level of risk, and it's not for every single person,
Mhm.
and it's not for every single person's assets, and that's totally fine.
Yeah, I mean, just to mention here that the Coinbase custody that people usually do use these days actually is one of the projects that I worked in the past. So anyway, thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thanks for coming up, Augie. Next up, I think David's next. David, go ahead.
Hey, thanks, guys. So for several months, I've been trying to do some research on Celsius. Today, I made my first BTC purchase on the Celsius platform. By the way, I love the fee versus another platform I had been using in the past. And I'm close to bringing my crypto over to Celsius, and the lure of yield is big. Where I have been using a company called Casa, which some of you may be familiar with, just hodling and really a self custodial type of a platform. My question is, if let's say I were to transfer over some or all, and I were to, by the way, I'm in the state of Utah. I guess I should ask, is there any inhibitor from, say, getting a loan on your crypto in the state of Utah?
The best way to find out is to download the app and see what services are available. I can't speak
Okay.
for Utah off the top
I
of my
think
head.
then if it's available on the app, then I see that I can do that. So
Yep.
thank you.
Yep.
My question would be, and here's where I may lack much understanding, but my question would be, if I were to have borrowed, say, 25%, and we have a day or a couple days like have been happening and the drop that we've seen, how would that impact the loan? Would there be a call, or would I be liquidated?
Yeah. So anytime you take a loan, there's an LTV that's presented there when you're taking it, and then during the entire life of the loan. You start at 50%, and you can take a loan all the way down to 25% LTV. When your LTV gets to 65%, we do a margin call, and we show that to you before you take out the loan. And that's when we're asking you to please add collateral or return some of the funds you borrowed. And then above that, I think it's 75%. We start looking if we have to liquidate a piece of the collateral. So
Gotcha.
absolutely, market volatility affects the value of the collateral and affects the LTV. And so we have to protect those loans at all costs. So we always want to be flexible. The last thing we want to do is have to liquidate somebody. It's a terrible experience for you, terrible experience for us. But these are collateralized loans, and that's what the collateral is for.
Sure. Okay. All right. I understand. And then my last question for you would be, and I'm sure I could find this on the platform, or on the app, what is the yield on multiple coins? Let's say, just as a hypothetical, let's say 5 BTC. What would be the yield if you just hold it there? There's no loan. You're taking the weekly yield.
So it's a blended rate, effectively, because on the first Bitcoin you earn 6.2%, and then on the other 4 you earn 3.5. And again, those rates are always updating, so be sure to check each week. But so effectively, it would be something like 4%, right? Because you're getting 6.2 on the first one, and then 4 or 3.5% on the other 4.
Yeah. So the blended rate that, let's say I were to get a loan tomorrow morning, start the wheels in motion, that rate that is available, say tomorrow morning, it fluctuates. It's not set on the date of your loan. It is a day-to-day process, like an adjustable rate.
No. On the loans, they're fixed.
Gotcha.
The yield rates we update weekly, but the loan rates are fixed. So you take a 3-year loan at 1%, that's going to be 1% for 3 years.
I think that's what I meant, was the yield paid weekly.
The interest rate. So the interest rate is what you pay on a loan. Yeah, and then the yield is what we pay you.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's a fixed rate. Whatever you take the loan at is fixed for that contract period.
Okay. Very good. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you for coming up, David. Next is the crypto therapist.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? From the last speaker, David, I'm also in Utah. So if you have any questions, or I'm trying to set up, I'm a Celsius ambassador, trying to set up like Celsius meetups and stuff. So if you have any interest in anything like that, definitely feel free to message me, and we'll get something set up locally. Also, to the other previous caller, I believe his name was Russell. You can also hit me up on Twitter, DM. I can help you get set up to as far as showing you how to buy Celsius through a decentralized exchange. The third thing was I just got my Celsius hoodie from USA Strong. So thanks to Chrissy for that. And I don't know if Chrissy's still on, but if so, do you guys is there a way to submit ideas as far as sell swag?
Yeah, we love ideas.
Cool. Best way to do just email or?
Yeah, you can always email me at chrissy@usastrong.io. Mimi, I don't know if Mimi's on the call, but Mimi, which is MIMI @usastrong.io,
Okay.
who's head of design, and that's how we come up with some of the great stuff that we have. It's been a collaboration with the community.
Sweet. Awesome. Appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you.
Crypto therapist, did that conclude your thoughts, sir?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks for coming up. Tecmo.
Hey, so I don't even know if Doggy and Sushi Girl are still on, but I just wanted to quickly address their two concerns. Doggy first, he kind of sounded like he was saying like what can make him more comfortable with the security, and he was at a level of like paranoia that probably cold storage is the only thing for him. But to actually answer his question is what I feel like I went through is, and I feel like what most people go through is like, okay, there's this new thing called Celsius. Tell me about it. Is it secure? And you start learning about the security of Celsius, and I think that's the path you take to get more comfortable to have assets on the site. And as Zach said, you don't have if you don't, you've a portion of your portfolio that you're comfortable with, right? But as you learn, you're like, oh, okay, you can have 2FA, you can have, Celsius has multi-sig, they have this HODL mode. Oh, okay, I want to get a YubiKey that is tied to my email account. I want to use an encrypted separate email account that is just for crypto, just for Celsius. I think as you learn more and more about security, you learn about what you can do privately and what Celsius already does, your comfort level rises, and that's what does it for me. So I just wanted to quickly say that for Doggy, like, the more you, and it sounds like he knows stuff about this industry. So if he knows all kinds of stuff and he actually knows what to do personally for cybersecurity, and he also knows what Celsius does, then I think that for 99% of us, that's really, really good, as an answer that makes most of us comfortable. If he's still not comfortable, then yeah, like Zach said, it's probably just not for him. But for me, learning more, educating myself is what makes me more comfortable. And then for Sushi Girl, like Zach touched on it briefly, but I didn't know if this would help others. But anybody who has this concern about, oh, I sent it to my wallet or my address, whatever terminology they happen to use, and then the next time it's a new one and it freaks them out that it wasn't the same as the last one. This hierarchical deterministic wallet, I just wanted to kind of go into that a little bit more if you guys don't mind. But when you're using those HD wallets, there's a parent, like think of it like a parent and a child. Your original seed phrase or your private key generates a public key, but for security and for anonymity, the way things happen now with these HD wallets is it generates a new, I'm sorry, a new public address, or a new child, if you will, branched off that same parent, and it'll just generate a new one each time. And so for anybody who's like freaking out, like, oh, that wallet or that address, whatever terminology they want to use, isn't the same as the last one, and they're worried about where their funds are going, that's actually part of the security of how things are being run. All those addresses will still work, as Zach already alluded to, the coins will be safe. It's just something that's actually a security feature built into the protocol. Sorry for nerding out on everyone.
No, we appreciate it. Thanks for coming up and sharing that, Tecmo. Next up, I believe, is Lloyd.
Hey guys, you guys are definitely earning your corn tonight. You should definitely get Alex to slip you some bonus sell or something, I think. It's been quite a tough one for you guys. I was just going to touch upon a point Jason made a couple of questions ago with regards to feedback. It sounded like the Google Docs thing, I would imagine, is not going to be like a secure option for you guys. But one of the things you might already be aware of, or if not, worth checking out, go and check how Swissborg do this at roadmap.swissborg.com. So what they have is various different tabs on there that kind of says what's launched, what's in development, what's planned, and then they've got community requests and user requests, an option where you could submit an idea. I know you guys are trying to get more developers on board, and probably a reason why stuff like this is in the mix somewhere. But that's a really good example, and they can submit ideas on there. But actually, it's got quite a lot of information on that people are commonly asking on these AMAs, such as, when's the credit card coming out and this, that, and the other. There's no dates on this, and of course, I know this is something that Alex said before, that you didn't want to include dates because you can set yourself up for a bit of a fall there, where you're setting expectations of dates, and if things change on the development side, then of course there's going to be an issue there. So, but yeah, they do it really well, so worth checking that out, I'd suggest, and might help kind of give some ideas on how you incorporate something like this in the future.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll take a look. Thank you.
Yep, great feedback. Thank you, Lloyd. Lucia, long time no see. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm over in the U.S. after a couple of months, so traveling the world. And all of a sudden I realized that I could actually tune in tonight. I'm a little jet lagged, but at any rate, I had a couple of questions. I was speaking with somebody over in Italy who is very interested in Celsius, and she has a friend who's also interested, which is really terrific. And I wondered about loans. Can people in other countries besides the U.S. get loans, get the 1% loans?
Yeah, wherever loans are available, that 1% is available as well.
Fabulous. That's great news. And then something else. If somebody, I'm not saying who, decides to move to another country, I had such a good time in Italy. I was like, oh, maybe I'll move over here. So if I moved to another country, would I need to how would I handle my account? I guess is really what I'm asking. Would I have to resubmit KYC? But what would I have to do?
Yeah, you would do a change of address. So if you look on the profile page, there is a section about changing your address. You end up messaging support.
Yeah.
And we will get your new proof of address and new ID if applicable.
Yeah.
And then we'll update your account for you to be in that new area, and then all the permissions and features or restrictions will be applied to you on that point going forward. If you have any loans open, it won't affect the open loans, but it will affect future loans.
Okay. All right. I definitely know that I would sacrifice my 0% California loan if I moved anywhere out of California. But still, 1% is, it rocks. It absolutely rocks in every other world. So, okay. I just was curious about that. Not making any commitments, but I had such a good time. I was like, maybe I'll just move. Anyway, thanks. Great to see everybody, and talk to you soon.
Thanks for coming up, Lucia. Good. Thickles, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? This might be a question for Chrissy. I'm not too sure, but a few weeks back, I saw a Twitter thread going around about a hodl snowboard, and I'm kind of dying to get one. Is there any news on that?
Yeah, that's definitely coming our way soon. Should be up by the end of the week.
Awesome. Can't wait. Thanks.
Thickles, was that your only question?
That's it.
Sure. Thanks for coming up. We'll take one more person here. Bill,
Hey,
what's going on?
hey, good evening, everybody. Two-part question. I'll take them one at a time. I think the first one is easy. I'm in California, did apply for the swap feature. Just wasn't sure if you were still allowing new folks to, I guess, pilot that feature. And if so, how long does that roughly take to get approved?
Yeah, so that's still being rolled out. Just stand by. We have everybody on that list, but it's going to take some time before everybody gets access, so just hold tight.
Okay, will do. Thanks for that. The second one is, I think the recent updates to USDC might have incentivized me to move a little bit more money over. Just trying to figure out the most efficient way in and out. So I do see that I can move via ACH into, which looks pretty straightforward. I'll figure out Gem. The question that I have is moving money back out, fees and process and timing to do that if I need to get my money out on sort of short notice.
Yeah, I'd really recommend hooking up with an exchange like Coinbase or Gemini for both the in and out.
Okay.
Both of those will convert fiat for free into stablecoins. So I would really recommend doing that. It's going to be a much better experience. And then we were talking about earlier about the withdrawal limits. If it's over 150,000, it takes a little bit of extra security to get that through. Not too long, we're looking 12 to 24 hours to get that transferred, but it's not as quick as the standard transfer out.
Gotcha. Appreciate the advice there, Zach. Tecmo Super Bowl, thanks also for your additional color around security, as well as continuing to support the greatest game of all time. All done. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks for coming up. So that kind of wraps our questions for the night, guys. Thank you all for joining us. If we didn't get to your questions for the night, just know that we run these rooms as much as we can for you almost every day. Feel free to follow myself, Zach, and Scott as we try to keep an open dialogue for you guys as much as possible and to keep up with everything related to Celsius. Tomorrow night, we're going to be running a room with USA Strong, so any feedback you guys have as far as the HODL shop, we'd love to hear it, so please come in and check us out then. I think we'll be doing it around 8 p.m. tomorrow. And I hope you guys got a lot out of tonight. I know I did. So have a great night, everyone. We'll see you on the next one.
Awesome. Thanks.